How much money you made? 20 million. Well, that's good. It was worth it then. Oh, yeah. I'd go up there and fight for 5 minutes, for 5 seconds for 20 million. Yeah. Did you see it too? What did you think about it? Speak up for me. Yeah. You knew he wasn't going to win? Oh, so you knew in advance he wasn't going to win? That's right, man. Y'all should have listened to him. You're right about that. How much money you put on it? How much money you put that Tyson would win? I mean, you didn't put any money up? Why not? You would be rich today. Good morning. Welcome to Fellowship. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. You can get involved by going to our YouTube chat line, and Hate will pass on your question or comments for me concerning today's meeting. All right? Good morning, y'all. Good morning. How's everybody? Good. Good. Any questions? No, we don't have any questions. We just came for you to tell us. We did not have a life this week. We don't know what to do. No question. Anybody do the assignment? Oh, you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
The question is actually about the intro music. Is there the intro music that you have? Is there a story behind the intro music, or why did you choose the intro music that you have right now?
I have no idea. I didn't even choose it. I hear it when you hear it. I have no idea. Anybody do the assignment this week? You do all that writing. You have it, right?
I don't even know where it is. Was it continue shaking in fear? Continue shaking in fear?
No. So you don't have the assignment?
I get it.
Anybody have the assignment? So no one did the assignment. No wonder you have no questions. Amazing, huh? So did you do the assignment? I'm surprised you didn't do it.
Well, again, if it was the continuing shaking in your boots, I was too tired and too many bad things were happening.
To you?
I mean, around me.
Oh, okay.
I had a dark cloud around me this week.
But what did it have to do with you, though?
I mean,
Was the dark cloud in you or in other people around
probably you? In me. It's just been you have those weeks where everything that could go wrong goes wrong. Sometimes it's smooth sailing and other times it's stormy seas.
Oh.
It was one of those.
So everything went wrong on the outside of you?
And me too, because I didn't handle it well.
Meaning what?
Everything that could go wrong, nothing major, but just little things that could go wrong. There'd be the ideal way to handle it,
right,
and there'd be the way I handled it.
Okay.
So it was just one of those weeks. And I wasn't shaking.
And why did you handle things in a bad way or the wrong way?
Not the ideal way, not the James Bond way.
And why didn't you handle them the James Bond way?
I don't know. I'm still in the process of trying to figure that out.
Are you paying attention to yourself?
Maybe not.
Oh, that's the biblical question this week, right? Why do you pay attention to yourself?
Because I'm selfish.
You're selfish?
Of course.
Meaning what?
Well, I think if I was capable of being a little bit less worried about my feelings, I think it would be a lot easier to navigate life.
Oh, okay. Meaning, explain that.
Okay, so
So I want you to tell me what he says. All right? Okay, go ahead.
So let's just say you have a set of rules and they're fairly simple. Just do this, do this, do this. And you know, if you don't do these things, it's going to go wrong for you. And as it's happening, you're watching yourself do it wrong. You're watching the bad results, and you can't figure out why you couldn't just follow those simple rules.
You could not figure out why you...
No, like, as things are unfolding in a negative light throughout the week, I keep asking myself, what am I doing and why is it going this way?
Right.
Why can't I stop this from happening?
And what was the answer?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
have one. I was hoping you might.
See there? Okay. What did he say?
Hello. I was
Hello.
trying really hard to pay attention, and I was hearing, but it would just disappear.
It was my dark cloud. It blocked it.
It went one ear and out the other. I'm so sorry. I'm
That's
sorry.
typical when I talk to women, so I'm used to that.
Amazing. Okay. Why do you pay attention? And I'll come back to that, all right? Why do you pay attention to yourself? That's the biblical question this week, last week.
I was thinking about this question, and I think really highly of myself. I think I'm super important, and so I'm always judging myself to see if I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing. And I think that's why I pay attention to myself. And I don't think it's really productive because I'm just judging myself.
All right.
So I think I'm paying attention to myself in the wrong way. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Anthony, why do you pay attention to yourself? Why do you? Did you know this was the biblical question?
No.
But why do you pay attention to yourself?
Maybe I should come back.
I'm sorry?
Maybe I should think about it some.
I'm
'Cause
sorry.
I'm not quite sure what the question means.
You don't know why you pay attention to yourself?
But we're supposed to pay attention to ourselves. You saying why like it's a negative thing?
Yeah, why do you pay attention to yourself?
I pay attention to myself so that I can try to grow and learn and watch the evil that's within me.
You pay attention to yourself to grow and learn and watch the evil that's in you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Amazing. What did he say?
I feel like I used to
No,
pay
no.
attention.
What did he just say?
Oh, what did he just say? Oh,
Yeah.
I misunderstood the question. He pays attention to himself so that he can grow and learn, and he also doesn't quite understand the question fully.
Okay.
Or maybe he needs more time to think about it.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
I find that I just try to pay attention to the thoughts that come and go. I don't know if that's the same thing. I feel like I used to pay attention to myself before I kind of like got on this journey of observation of my thoughts. I used to pay attention to myself because I wanted to construct the perspective in other people, how they perceived me. I was watching myself so that I was trying to control the situation and how they were perceiving me so I could like control that environment. So that's when I used to pay attention to myself before I became aware of my thoughts, and then I realized that it's not really even me, it's just the thoughts that kind of come and go that I'm observing.
Oh, okay.
If that makes sense.
Amazing. What did she say?
She was saying she thinks of herself to put forth an image to other people and control what they think of her.
I'm sorry? Speak up.
She said that she tries to be aware of herself to put forth an image to other people to control what they think and or how they view her. So I think that's what she said.
I'm sorry?
I think that's what she said.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's a good synopsis of like the first half, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
Because I want to know who I am, and you know, I think back, or you know, we have things in life that are supposed to be accepted as true, and I like to think, well, is that true, or where does this truth come from, and what is really real? So you know, I look at myself and see other people, and I see how I'm not like them, or ways that I am. So, I don't know. I remember being a kid, like probably 8 years old, and looking in the mirror at myself, like, what the hell? Like, you know, zooming in and just looking, like, wondering who I am.
Okay.
And, you know, the way I see things, and a lot of people didn't see things the same way, I would say. So, like, my family, they're just, like, patriotic, da-da-da. I was always kind of anarchist, questioning everything, you know, and I could see our nation going down this path, and they would just tell me, you know, no, America's the best country, you don't know what you're talking about, kind of
So
attitude.
at 8 years old, you thought about America going down the wrong path?
Yeah.
At 8 years old?
Well, that was the beginning. So after that, you know,
Amazing.
through my youth, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, watching the news, I couldn't believe other people think this is, you know, like
At
reality.
8 years old, I could care less about America than anybody else. I was just having fun.
Well, that's when I was baptized, I guess. So, you know, maybe that
Oh.
had something to do with it. Who knows?
Okay. What did he say?
Thank you. He wants to know the truth of things and who he is. That's what I got from it.
And what you got from it?
Yes.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
Because I genuinely want to be a better person. I see that I want to be, I might not always have it figured out, but I constantly go back to wanting to be a better person.
Better than what?
Better, and I know that this might not be the best thing, but better than who I was before in the past.
Oh, okay. Amazing. What did she say?
She wants to be a better person
And why?
because she wants to be better than she was in the past.
I believe you. Okay. And why do you want to be a better person?
I'm not sure that I necessarily want to be a better person.
Oh, so you don't want to be a better person?
I think, yeah, I'm not sure, because I think if you say you're a better person than what you were, that's not necessarily the case.
So, repeat that.
So the thought that you need to be a better person assumes that you were, back then you were better than you are now.
Oh, okay.
So you need to kind of improve yourself, necessarily.
Okay. What did he say, Daniel?
You didn't ask him. You didn't ask him why he pays attention to himself.
I asked, why do you want to be? Oh, well, why do you pay attention to yourself? Same thing, right? No? Go back to him. I didn't want to change it. Why do you pay attention to yourself? Did I ask you that? Why do you pay attention to yourself? Okay. Why do you pay attention to yourself?
I think it's the same thing as the lady across has said. It's just you want to put an image of yourself to the world, so you try to see yourself from other people's lenses and just kind of watch how other people are looking at you.
That's why you want to be a better person? I mean, that's why you pay attention to yourself?
I think so, yeah.
What's the reason again?
It's because you see yourself through other people's lenses, so that's how you also pay attention to yourself.
Oh, okay.
I actually have one quick example. Maybe, I'm not sure if
Okay.
it's a perfect situation, but I had to go to a celebration of life or a funeral the other day, and then I bought these cupcakes or cookies or whatever, and then the box was super obnoxious, like it was bright pink and colorful, etc. And I just thought to myself, and I picked it up, I was like, I don't want to walk in with this big bright box of pink and to a funeral. And then the whole time I was having this kind of conversation with myself, I was like, I'm thinking about what other people are going to think about me walking into that room with a bright pink box. But the reality is, they're probably thinking there's cookies in there, you know.
Yeah. So you went to a funeral and recalled the celebration of life?
Yes.
Was the person dead?
Yes.
How a dead person celebrate life?
I think the audience
Y'all
is
like they
celebrating their
lost.
life. Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Daniel, why does he pay attention to himself?
Well, it looks like he wants to control what other people think about him,
That what he said?
kinda.
What did he say?
He said that he's worried about something about the lens and how people look at him.
Okay.
So,
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
well, paying attention to myself sounds a lot like judging myself, and I judge myself all the time.
So you paying attention to yourself because you're judging yourself?
Right.
Okay. Amazing. What did he say?
I believe that he said he pays attention to himself when he feels like he's judging himself.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
I think I pay attention to myself because I'm trying to stay present, and then I realize I'm not because I am thinking about it.
You're not thinking about it? You said because of what?
I think I pay attention to myself because I'm trying not to. It's like I want to be present, but then I know when I am thinking about it, I'm not present.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What did she say, Joel? You black.
That when she's looking at herself, she's not present.
What? That's what she said?
When she's looking at herself, she's not present.
That's what she said?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you pay attention to yourself?
To overcome, to be free, to work on myself.
To overcome? Oh, repeat that, I'm sorry.
Just to be free, to overcome, work on myself.
Okay. And what did he say?
He said that so that he can overcome and work on himself. That's why he pays attention to himself.
Okay. Amazing. And why do you pay attention to yourself?
Because I like to view the bloopers and the
What?
highlights, the bloopers and the highlights of
You like what?
to view the bloopers and the highlights of my actions and my words.
Oh.
And because the same reason why I'm in everybody else's business, I'm just like, I meddle, I meddle within, that's why I'm always looking at myself, because I'm like, what can I see? What can I do? The same reason why I look at everybody else, because I'm not in my own lane, which is, if I'm driving, right, and I'm looking at myself in the rearview mirror, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna crash into another car, I'm gonna crash, because I'm too busy looking at myself. So it's like, girl, get your eyes up on the road, don't be looking at what's gonna happen, It's like, that's why I'm like, because I'm just so lost. That's why I'm all up in my business when it ain't none of my business.
Amazing. It's a lot, but what did she say?
That she likes to pay attention to herself because she likes to meddle with herself like she does with other people, and she's not paying attention to herself
Okay.
as she should, maybe. That was a lot, I don't know.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
To be able to grow, I think, and see the holes, and to see why I do the things that I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What did she say?
She said she wishes to change or grow, basically to be, I guess, better. That's what she said, I think.
So what else? You said you think?
Yeah, that's what I think she said.
You didn't pay attention?
I did. I heard it. She wants to grow. She wants to change. She wants to be better.
Okay. And why do you pay attention to yourself?
I'd say this week I was really caught up into that. I used to do the same thing as her, the double thinking about not thinking. But at some point I realized it's best to just let go completely and not even regard yourself for whatever it is you're doing. I still do get caught up into it. I still, I guess, basically judge myself. That's, I guess, my answer is I pay attention because I'm judging myself.
Okay. What did he say? Right here, with the black hat.
Well, at the end, he said he pays attention to himself because he's judging himself. But in the beginning, he said that he's always doing the double thinking where he's trying not to pay attention to himself, and it's making himself pay attention to himself in the first place. So.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
Because I can't help it.
You can't help it?
Nope.
Meaning what?
Meaning that all I'm thinking about is myself most of the time because no one else will. So I think about myself to make sure I'm okay.
Okay. Amazing. What did he say?
He said he can't help it because if he tries not to, he still thinks about himself. So I think just because he's conscious and alive, so he can't not, like most
He
people.
said that?
No.
I asked you what did he say, not what you say.
Because he can't stop. If he tries to not think about himself, he still thinks about.
And why do you think about yourself?
Because I want to know the truth of the world and myself. Because if you don't know the truth of the world, then you're not operating in the game. Just like if you don't know the rules of Texas Hold'em, you can't play the game. So if you don't know the truth
tell
of the
me,
world,
why do you pay attention to yourself?
because I want to know the truth of the world and myself.
Okay.
That's why.
What did he say? The young lady in the purple.
He wants to know the truth of the world within himself.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
Mine would be controlling the narrative of what people think of me. Like, I want to know my downfalls before anybody else can, like, point them out.
Okay.
In an effort to get better, but that would be it.
What was last thing? What?
Like, in an effort to be better,
Oh,
but
okay.
that would be the gist of it.
Amazing. What did she say, Nick? Anchor baby.
That she's covering up.
Is that what she said?
Yeah, basically. I lost attention at that last critical moment.
So you don't know what she said?
I got the gist.
What did she say?
Exactly? Can't remember.
Oh, okay. Why do you pay attention to yourself?
Well, initially, when I thought about this question, I thought it's to understand myself. And it is that, really. But as I thought about it in the week with that in mind, there's a whole bunch of things that I call myself, that I feel and do, whatever. And I don't know if I'm necessarily giving them the right attention. It's all upside down a little bit in some ways, but that's why I pay attention to understand.
What did he say, Frankie?
I don't know. That he wasn't paying attention to the previous speaker, and that he's not really sure.
What was the first thing you said he said?
Well, he talked about the young lady right here.
About why he doesn't pay attention to himself. I mean, why he paid attention? What did he say?
That he wasn't really sure. I didn't really understand, you know.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
I want to find out about myself, because I know that when I go into my imagination, or sometimes I'm not aware, I'll start thinking something and then I'll do it. So I want to be able to see myself.
Okay, what did he say? Yeah, you.
He said that he pays attention because he wants to be aware of himself, and that I guess if he does something, that he can deal with it.
I'm sorry?
I kind of lost it. I had it for a second. This is great that you keep asking us this. I don't know. I think he said he wants to know himself and that he's aware of himself, so if he makes a mistake, he can correct it. Did I hear that right?
Why did I ask you why you pay attention to yourself yet?
I think so. I think.
I've already asked you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I said because I'm selfish, but now I think I understand the question better.
And what? What do you understand about
well,
it?
It's a little bit.
Why do you pay attention to yourself?
When I do pay attention to myself now, based off what I think the understanding of this question is pretty similar to everybody else. I just want to, there's a practical reason for it, maybe to be a better person. And then spiritual side, if I pay attention to myself, I have a better chance of being a better person.
Oh, okay. Derek, why do you pay attention to yourself? Tomorrow is Derek's birthday, if you make it.
If I make it.
Oh, we may have to be having a celebration of life.
It's dark.
Why do you pay attention to yourself?
Because whenever I try to think of ways to, because anything outside of me is really trying to control somebody else, honestly. So the best thing I can do is focus on myself and focus on bettering myself. And I feel like if everybody else does that, then we'll be okay as a people. Yeah.
What did Derek say there, James? Hake?
I don't know. I was distracted because he was holding the mic too close.
So why do you pay
I'm a
attention
rapper.
to yourself?
On occasion that I do, it's like pain prompts me to pay attention to myself.
Pain?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you say?
He said that on occasion that he does pay attention to himself, it's pain that prompts him to do so.
And why do you pay attention to yourself?
I think I pay attention to myself because I feel like I can fix myself.
Okay. What did he say? Let's see. Da. Right here. In the purple.
He said he feels like he can fix himself.
You feel like he can fix himself?
Yes.
Okay. Let me ask, since you have the mic, why do you allow your fear to control you, your life? This is so much fun, huh? Y'all thought I was gonna come and preach. This is a fellowship. This is not. Go ahead.
That's such a loaded question.
Loaded?
It is. It's so much that goes into that.
Be careful with the noise on the pen.
Can we circle back?
Back to what?
Like, can we circle
You want to
back?
go back to why you pay attention to yourself?
No. Like, can we circle along the room? Because it's such a loaded question.
What do you mean by loaded?
Like, it's a lot in that question.
And you can't answer any of it?
Well, I can answer it, but it only be part.
It's funny, when I thought of this question, I thought of you this week.
No, you didn't.
I'm like, this would be good for her. I don't know why.
It's amazing that you say that. Can I answer in like a short, very short story?
However you want to answer.
So I made an amazing realization sometime this week that I'm actually not a nice person.
You finally figured that one out?
Yes, I did, but it's not in
Beautiful.
No, really.
Yeah.
It's not in the conventional way you think. But I was like, I put a lot of effort in trying to be nice, and that's so unnatural. Like, if I'm just a nice person, I wouldn't have to think or plan to be nice.
Yeah.
It'll just be that. It's so fake, you know? And I guess I'm just so afraid of people actually seeing how mean and how so not patient I am.
Yes, absolutely. That's fear.
Yes.
That's a perfect example of fear. There's much more, but that's a perfect example.
Yes.
You're afraid not to be nice.
Yes.
And so you put effort into trying to be nice, put up this false image. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
What do you think will happen if you stop being nice?
It would change everything.
Meaning what?
Like, it would just change everything. It would change the people I'm around. It would change how people view me, of course. It'll just be a different tune.
And so why don't you stop being nice?
It's a gradual thing. It's a you know, I'm walking away the pounds.
Right on. Nice.
Yeah.
Good. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Why do you allow fear to control your life? Right here in front, yeah.
I don't think I really allow it anymore, but I think it was something I really had to go through, where I really had to learn some hard lessons when I did let fear control me. And then, you know, like once, it's kind of like I was in a situation, I got really afraid, and so I went ahead and acted instead of just going through it. And then once the moment passed, it was like, how could I have done that and let fear control me in that way? And so I think because I had some really big moments like that in my life, I just kind of realized that's usually doesn't work out very well for me. So I think, kind of like you said, it's better to just not act and go through it. So I don't know, I think I don't really let it control me anymore.
And in what way does it control you now?
Well, I guess just thinking about how the other week we talked about shaking in your boots or what have you. And so I have like this injury in my neck and I have to get these adjustments on it, and they're always like pretty painful. So as I'm like lying down, like waiting for it, I can sometimes feel myself being like, oh no, like what's gonna happen? And like, what if this happens and he breaks your neck, or, you know, this happens and you lose all your teeth, or I don't know, just silly things like that. But every time I get it, nothing happens and I feel better afterwards. So I think just kind of going through that time and time again, I've just been like, there's nothing to be afraid of. And if something does happen, then I guess it will, and you'll just move on from there.
Okay. How does fear control your life? And why do you let it happen?
I don't really feel like fear controls my life anymore, very similar to what she was
I'm
saying.
sorry, speak up.
I don't think fear controls my life anymore. I'm just like too, I don't know, I'm just too, I don't know, present for that now. It's like I realize thoughts come and go, and the fear was always rooted in the thoughts before. Like, I don't know, I used to be like so nervous to speak in front of people. I was just telling this story to one of my clients the other day. Like, my mom used to have me like call operator to ask what time a place was going to be closing, and I would, in my head, be like, okay, how am I going to ask this? How am I going to say this? And I would end up like mixing up the whole sentence because I would be so scared, rather than just like waiting until you have to actually speak to somebody and then you say exactly what needs to be said in that moment. And I kind of just live my whole life like that now. I don't really.
So when I called upon you right now, what were your first feeling?
I didn't even have a feeling. I just took the mic and started talking. It's like I'm so out of that routine of like thinking even about the thoughts that are coming into my mind, because it's like even trying to like prepare for anything ahead of time, you don't know that that reaction is even going to have to happen, because so many variables could change between here and now, here and any sort of answer. So it doesn't even make sense to think anything through. So I don't really feel scared about any decisions I ever have to make.
You never have fear now?
I don't have any fear anymore. I'm not, it's just like everything happens exactly as it needs to happen, and nothing elicits a reaction until it needs. For example, like just the other day, I was walking down the street with my dog, and I saw a man with like one of those kind of like scarier looking like pit bull dogs standing up ahead. He was sitting on his phone. His dog saw me and my dog, and I was so aware of like the whole situation around me. So I was like proceeding with caution, no fear. I'm not like, it's not like a scary situation. I was just aware of what was happening, and he wasn't aware of what was happening. And so I was starting to, and he was taking up the whole sidewalk. So I was like trying to pick which side to kind of go. So I started to go towards the street side, because I was like, the other side there was a wall and I didn't want to be on that side. But it was just like watching it all unfold. And then as we got closer, his dog charged my dog, and I didn't feel any fear about it. I just like maneuvered my dog away. His dog came over. I was kind of like kicking his dog over, but there was no fear in it. It was just like handling every single moment as it needed to. And then I just said to him, I was just like, situational awareness, you know, like just be aware of the people around you. But I didn't feel any fear. And I feel that on the road. Like I used to be scared on the road because I was just like, but if you're aware of what's going on and you're watching everything, you have enough time to react. So it's just like, I don't know, fear does not rule my life anymore.
Okay.
I just show up and do what needs to be done.
Why do you let fear control your life? And give me examples of how fear still control you.
I think that over the last year, I can't think of anything as of this second where fear does control me. I feel like in being here and our business has kind of pushed me to overcome a lot of different things. So I don't have anything as of this moment.
So you have at this moment, but during the week and during the day, how does fear control you?
I don't think I have any fear.
Have you noticed that you were controlled by fear?
For sure.
Oh, okay.
For sure, yeah. But I've done a lot of work this last year or so, so I feel like near enough all of those things as of right now I've overcome. I've become more of an individual, learning how to stand alone. I've let go of a lot of fears.
Okay. Yeah. And how does fear control you now?
I would say if I'm not on my silent prayers, then the thoughts will come through to my mind, and then I'll start to have those thoughts that will come through certain situations, high stress situations. And if I'm not really paying attention or aware in that moment, then I might let it come to my mind. But yeah, I would say that's the main way that fear can come into my life.
Oh, okay.
Just over like analyzing how I react and watching myself lately, I can see that if I'm not on my prayers, then the thought will come through to my mind and I won't catch it as easily or as quickly.
Okay. Amazing. Anthony, how does fear control you, and why do you allow it to happen?
Well, real quick, thank you so much for that first exercise that you did, where you asked us to think about, to
why
say
you
what
think
the person
about
was saying.
yourself?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
really good, and I got more clarity on that as I was, because earlier I was like, I don't really know. And it showed, one thing it showed me was how much I go unconscious, because even when people were saying what they were saying, and you asked them what did he say, I couldn't remember what they were saying even right here. So it helped me to see how we go in and out, I go in and out of unconsciousness all the time. But answer your question about fear, I definitely get thoughts that always tell me that that I'm not going to be able, some type of not going to be able to do something or to take care of my family or to just little stuff like you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do that. So that's a fear thing that comes in.
And does it control you?
No, because what I've learned to do, a lot of it comes from the things that I've learned here is to just watch it and to let it go. And what ended up happening is I'll end up seeing that it's not true because the things never happen.
Okay. Amazing. Nick, how does fear control you? And why do you let it happen?
It controls me in every way. I'm like Mike Tyson, except that without the muscles or the legend status or really anything else. But he would say that he's afraid of everything. He fears fear before every match, before everything. He feels fear about how people will see him, if whatever. So, and then once I'm in the ring, I want your heart. No, but anyways, that he said that too. But I'm just ego. But yeah, that's how it controlled me. Why? I don't know. The answer I was thinking is I think it's harder to overcome it. Like I'm just it's easier actually. It's actually easier this way.
It's harder to overcome, but it's easier?
It seems that way. It seems that way.
Meaning
Because like I
what?
walk into a room, and if I'm not paying attention in the right way, I guess, then I'm like that. I'm like an animal. Like everything. It's like the way my face contorts, the reason I'm making a face in that moment, because I'm thinking of what people are seeing or whatever. Fear is controlling that.
Oh, okay.
And you said why? Okay, anyways.
Go ahead.
No, I don't. It's harder. It's easier to just not overcome. It's harder to actually face that maybe.
Okay.
But whatever.
You got a question?
No, I have an example of fear.
Okay.
Yeah, because fear generally would paralyze me, so I would do nothing. Like I would just like be a deer in the headlights. When I got my driver's license when I was 38, because I feared driving all my life. I got
You got it at 38?
Yeah, at 38.
Right.
Because I feared driving.
And why?
I got hit by a car when I was a little kid.
Oh, I see.
And so the fear of cars and the fear of getting hit by a car just drove me to the point where I was paralyzed that I would never get a car. Like even as I was walking across the street here to come to here, I noticed that I waited for all the cars to go by before I pushed the crosswalk signal so that I could walk across.
Oh.
So fear, I believe is a survival mechanism that sometimes it helps me survive, but it's only using my past experience to kind of paralyze me sometimes. So sometimes it completes me, it helps me stay alive, but it will also paralyze me to the point where I'll do nothing.
And were you aware at the light that you felt the fear?
Yes, because I remember feeling that I wanted the cars to go by because I didn't want to just push the button and walk into the middle of traffic.
Right.
So I was like, no, I'd rather be safe and let the cars go by. And then I pushed the button and then I
okay.
walked in the street.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Francisco, how does fear control you and why do you allow it to happen?
Give you an example?
Yeah.
I think it was on Thursday. I had a judge.
What's going on?
Some kind of a
Somebody
meeting.
fell in the toilet? Oh. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So I had a court date on the telephone. So I was speaking to a judge, and so this meant a lot of money, and so I had fear waiting for that phone call, and so you have to be careful what you say, and so I endured the fear, and I just kind of lived with it, and one thing that I've kind of discovered about fear is everybody has fear.
No, we're talking about you.
And
How does it control your life and why you let it control you?
I'm not able to control the fear. I can't control it.
And why not?
It's something that comes upon me in the situation, and so I just have to kind of walk through it, live through it, and endure it, and feel the pain, because I can't take the fear out of me.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Any questions so far? No questions yet. Amazing. Yes, sir.
Why the gavel on the table?
What?
Why the gavel? That's my question.
What?
The gavel, you have the hammer.
Oh, someone gave me this as a gift, and I just left it there. That's all.
Okay.
And sometimes I play around with it, but I just left it there.
That's my question.
Amazing. Yes.
Okay, so my question is because I'm noticing like where I didn't really realize how much fear I had, not only about my own thing, but like last week when you were on the Fallen State, right? And I'm watching, and I was like feeling fear for you, right? But I'm like, wait, and I didn't even really think about that I feel fear for others, right? Like,
That's a good point.
and it tripped me out because I'm like, wait, well then I'm like, what? Like, obviously my own fears is already a lot for me to quote unquote take on, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, why am I all up in like when I listen to Hank, right, like to James' show, and then I have to
What's his name?
James.
What's his first last name?
James Hake.
Oh, I thought you said Hank.
Oh no, I used to think it was Hank. Hi Hank, but no, it's James. So, but like if I'll watch, I can only watch so much because I'll feel that fear, and it's just like it's like revving up in me, you know. I can't even watch. God bless you, Joel, but I can't even watch his because I'm like, I'm trying to overcome beta, and there's like so much fear within. I'm like, wait, no, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? Or why are you, you know? Or I'm like, I'll be listening to, you know, Anchor Baby, Nick, and I'm like, this on Friday, they were talking about Gladiator, right? And I was feeling fear of like, no, you guys got it all wrong. And I'm like, Vanessa, calm down. But I'm like, what is that? That like,
Right.
What is that? What, like, why? And I never realized that I'm all up in everybody's business. Like,
Yeah.
like why? Really, why?
Amazing. We'll get to that in a minute. Any other questions? Okay. I have to make y'all get involved, huh? What have you realized in the purple? What have you realized about yourself that you didn't know when you first walked into these doors? About you.
Well, I already told y'all that I'm not nice.
I'm glad you discovered how evil you are.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's such an easier path to
'Cause
navigate
you seem
that.
so sweet and nice. And people are like, wow, she's so nice.
But you know, it's, how can I say this? Because I don't want to get all jumbled up with my words. So your question was what I didn't realize.
What have you realized since walking into this building, first time you came, about you?
I'm not nice, but heavy on the not nice. Like, so not nice. Extremely not patient. Shucks. Very judgmental to the top. What else? Those, I guess, would be the main three things, but not nice being the number one thing.
Yeah.
And very not patient at all.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what have you learned about yourself since coming here that you didn't know before?
I think the main thing would probably be my thoughts and how the thoughts used to just come and how I'd accept them. And now I just have learned how to really be present. I've learned so much. Not to overly mummy my kids. How to be an individual. So many different things.
Good.
Yeah.
And is it hard not to mummy your kids anymore?
No, it's become the new norm. Yeah, dealt with anger, dealt with near enough Most things, I think.
And are you dealing with your folks over back home? Are you dealing with them better now?
Yeah.
Or you don't deal with them at all?
I think I think I deal with them appropriately I don't judge them. I see them when I see them. I call them if I want to speak to them.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. That makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
Interesting. One other quick question, then we're going to move on a little bit more. What have, if anything, who have learned anything about human nature? Yes.
When I discovered how not nice I was, I finally caught on to how just mean people are, period. Just, and it's so funny, I would be so quick to call other people fake, but I'm like, I'm being fake too. Like, we're all just being fake together. Like,
Just showcase.
yes. Like, I'm nice to you, but then I don't really agree with what you're saying, and I'm going to talk behind your back, and it's going to get around to you, and it's just a cycle. That's it.
Wow.
But people are so evil.
Yeah.
Like, we're just evil together.
Yeah. Amazing. Jesse, another hand? What have you learned about human nature that you didn't know before?
I wouldn't say I didn't know before.
Okay. What have you realized? Let's come here. What have you realized about human nature?
I think what it did, it's like, say I thought I had an understanding. It just made it more of a obvious thing to me. Maybe I didn't think about it as much.
Okay, so what have you learned?
Well, probably a lot of the same things that everybody's already said about my thoughts. I've also been more self-aware, and I'm still in the process of compartmentalizing all of it, and I'm definitely more aware now. That's what I'm learning. I'm not even close to done, I don't think. But I didn't know how far gone I was until I came in here, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and what have you learned about human nature, if anything?
So I probably knew this before, but it's more obvious now. I see everything.
What's more obvious?
All of it.
About human nature?
Yes.
And what is more obvious?
I mean, just the fact that we're all lost in our thoughts, our ego, our emotions, and we're navigating the world together, and the mess that follows.
Okay. Okay. What have you learned about human nature? Or if anything, about human beings?
Since I've walked into here?
Since you've been working on you.
Oh, that's easy. Well, from I'd say a pretty young age, I've been, I'll say, engaged with or aware of how evil people really are, even how nice they may seem or sweet. You know, you're evil, and that's all it is. Yeah. I've learned that about myself also. That's the pretty big one. I'd say there's also, there's a lot of weird veneer, like you were saying, fakeness, to kind of cover that up. People kind of lie to themselves, or they think they're good, but no, you're just evil, I would say.
Okay. Amazing. How about you, Hank? James, Hank or Hank?
About human nature?
Yeah, if you've learned anything, what have you realized or learned?
That people are selfish and faker than they realize. And that, that selfish thing is like a big one in my mind. Whether it's relationships or whatever. That people are just completely selfish. That's it.
Okay. Anthony, what's good about human nature?
Nothing.
And why do you say nothing?
The only good that I see is the things that.
So you're saying nothing good about it, but the
Nothing.
only good you see in human nature?
I'm gonna get there. The
No, I'm
only
asking
thing.
to be clear, you
to be
said
clear,
nothing good
nothing.
about it, right? But you said the only good is what? In human nature?
In our nature outside of God, there is no good. The only good that I see is when we do return to Him and we start reflecting some of His characteristics. That's the only good that I see.
What good is in your nature?
No good is in my nature.
You see no good at all?
No.
Okay. But so you're saying there's no good in human nature until they start returning to God?
Yeah,
okay.
it's kind of like the moon. The moon doesn't have light. It's only it reflects the light from the sun. That's why we see it at night. So the only good in flat off guy over here, don't do it. So the only real light that comes from the moon is reflected from the sun, and that's kind of how I see it for us.
So there's nothing good about
I don't
people.
see any good in humans.
Okay. What
Maybe
is
you
it
can
like
tell
not
me.
seeing any good in you?
It's refreshing because I used to see it differently. I used to see good in myself. I used to think that I was good. So
Okay.
it's refreshing for me.
How about you, Daniel? What's good in human nature?
Good in human nature?
Yeah. And then, well, what have you learned about human nature?
Oh, well, I learned that human nature is kind of incomplete.
Meaning what?
Like without God, it's incomplete.
And so what's good about it?
That it could be completed.
What does that mean?
It kind of there's kind of hope in humans. Like humans have hope, whatever that means.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
So,
Riley.
it's related to what we're saying loosely. If we're all evil and we're not good, are manners necessary to just get through life so we don't kill each other?
That's a good question. No.
We should
Because
just-
manners are no manners. The fake manners are no manners.
Right.
And so I forget about your manners.
So no please, no thank
Because those
you.
manners are evil too.
No please, no thank you, no pleasantries. Just be like Hake over there.
Yeah. No, when you get rid of all your morals and stuff like that, your morality and all that.
Yeah.
Only weak people have morals.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Only weak people have morals.
You gotta explain that. Just gonna let that one go.
I'm sorry? Do you disagree with that?
I think I get what you're saying, but I'd love to know in depth what
okay.
you mean.
All right. Do you disagree with that, Joel?
No, I just think you need to give context to it because it can be misinterpreted what you mean by it.
And how you interpret it now. When you first heard it, how did you first interpret it?
Well, I know what you mean. I know what you mean by it.
Oh, well, don't say that.
Yeah.
You heard me say before?
Yeah, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
All right. When you heard that, what did it mean to you? What did you think about that?
It reminded me of.
This is so good, I can hardly stand it. It really, really is. Go ahead.
It reminded me of Captain Kurtz in The Hearts of Darkness.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he's.
Okay.
He referred. I don't know if you want to hear this. No, it's an Apocalypse Now reference. He was up in the jungles and he told the guy that came to assassinate him that he thought it was strong that the Viet Cong cut off all the baby arms after they were inoculated. He thought that that was brilliant and it showed true strength to do something like that.
Right on. I just see the movement, okay. I'll take it. Weak people are immoral. No such thing as a strong moral person. And if you notice when it's kind of what the young lady was saying, and Hate was saying, it's all an act. It's all fake. They have no more. The person that says they're more, they'll turn on you in a minute. They'll lie to you in a minute. They'll put on an act in front of you in a minute. They'll pretend they understand when they really don't in a minute. They'll quote the scriptures in a minute and praise the Lord. And they'll tell you how more they are, and they will compare their morality to yours. And if it's not the same, they'll judge you. They'll only agree with the people that have the morals that they have. It's weak. Morality doesn't work because it's fake. It's all weak people. Look how weak the people with the moral, look how weak they are. You can't trust them. They gossip. They turn on their own family members, own children, and they turn on themselves. They're weak. Because it's fake. It's not a real, it's that they've been taught more, like you've been taught to say thank you. Hello, thank you, please. You've been taught that from your parents. And they only made you learn to say it because they were weak. They didn't want to look embarrassed if the kid didn't say thank you. They thought it would reflect them, so they made you say it so that they could look good in the eyes of whomever the kid saying thank you to. They taught you wrong, and they made you weak. And sometimes people give you a gift and you say thank you, you don't even like it. Because you're too afraid to say, I don't like this. You're afraid. You're being controlled by fear. You'll smile when you really don't want to smile. Because you're afraid. Your morality, you're weak. You have fear. You're taught with people, or a person that loves to talk all the time, and you see that person coming and they want to talk. You don't really want to talk, but you sit there and listen to them, and you'll make up a talk or conversation where you really wish this person would go away. But you'll talk to them anyway, rather than saying, go away. I don't want to talk. You're controlled by fear because you're afraid of what they may think of you. Isn't that amazing? You'll go along with others, even the preacher or anybody, you'll go along with them because you're afraid to say, I don't understand or I don't agree. Because you want to appear nice in all things. Yes, ma'am. Did that make sense a little bit, Joel? Yeah. Go ahead.
Just so I can understand what you're saying, do you not think, though, like there should be, or there's a need for certain pleasantries in life?
So what now?
Like, what you're describing, like, I mean, I could be wrong, but like, isn't that just like certain pleasantries in life of when you meet people, you should say please and thank you. You should, like, you know what I mean? Like opening the door for somebody, being polite, right?
Right. And why should you be that? Why should you say that?
Because otherwise all of our interactions are just going to be like real, like.
But it's not real anyway.
Yeah, I know it's not real. I get that, but like if we all were to be our complete and utter natural 100% selves, like I kind of feel like the world wouldn't go round because we'd all be like really rude and like.
But it's all really rude now in the world.
Yeah, but you know what I mean though.
Human
Like,
beings are evil and nasty.
I understand, I agree with
and
you.
they open the door for you, you say thank you, when you know you don't even like that person, open the door.
But then, like, what are you supposed to do, though? Like, you're supposed to be, I
Good
don't like you,
question.
close the door. Let me get a door.
Well,
see what
why
I
do
mean?
you
Like,
need to say thank you when someone opens the door for you?
because they've taken a second out of their day to hold the door for you so that you can come through.
That's not why you say thank you. You say thank you because you want the person to open the door to think that you see them as a nice person, and you want them to see you as a nice person because you said thank you. Because if you just say thank you, that person's going to think you're a mean person. Oh, that's an old selfish, mean person. I shouldn't have opened the door for them.
No, I just think there's like such thing as like common decency,
What's common decency?
like being respectful, being polite.
Meaning what?
The example of the door. If somebody opens the door, I don't. really, me personally, don't really care about what that person thinks about me, but I'm still going to say thank you because they took 2 seconds out of their day to hold the door for me.
But why? But it's a thank you for them or for you?
I'm saying thank you to them to acknowledge the fact that they held the door for me.
And why?
Because I feel like there's certain things that is the right thing to do.
Well, where you get that from? That it's the right thing to do.
Huh? Sorry, I missed that.
Where did you get that from? That it's the right thing to do.
Well, I think that would probably go back to like how you're raised.
Right. You
Right,
were
which
taught
I
that.
understand, but I still think.
Would you think would have been better had they not taught you that and let you discover on your own to say nice or thank you, or that they taught you to say nice? I mean, to say thank you.
I know the answer that you're probably going to say is to be allowed to see it for yourself and not be taught anything, but I don't know if I agree with that at this moment.
And why not? But how do you know what I'm gonna say?
Because there's a Jesse answer. So I'm just saying that I think I hear you and I understand what you're saying, but I still think I feel like there's levels to it. Like I feel like just saying please and thank you is like very minimal.
But why?
Because I feel like it's something that you should acknowledge. Like
Why?
Because it's the right thing to do.
What's right about that?
Okay, let me think of a practical example. If I don't know, I'm driving my car and.
So let me ask you this then. If it's right to say thank you for someone opening the door, is it wrong not to say thank you?
That's a great point.
No, that's a question.
I wouldn't judge them for not acknowledging
That's
it.
not the question. Is it wrong to not say thank you?
I don't think so, no, but I think that people should.
But if there's a right, there has to be a wrong.
Sure.
And so why do you say it's not? Are you saying it's not wrong not to say thank you?
Because I feel like it goes back to like societally what's expected.
Right.
Right? Because
and why
if you
should
said,
we live the way society expects us to live?
Sure.
No, that was a question.
No. I'm not saying that we should. I see. That's what I'm saying. I see your point, but like I still feel like in those little things, like it's polite. If I baked you a cake, right? I don't know. I baked you a really nice cake. Your
You
favorite.
bought one today?
No, I didn't. But
you nasty woman.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like if I baked you a cake or a pie or your favorite something, and I spent all this effort and time, and I did it just because I love to bake or whatever, and then I gave you something, the natural thing would have most likely, if it was me, I would say, oh, thank you.
And why?
Like if I just gave you something and you said absolutely nothing, to me that would be a little bit weird.
Why?
But I also wouldn't go into it expecting it.
You would be expecting me to say thank you.
No, I wouldn't. Knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have any expectation.
But you would, because you would think that it's weird if I did. You went through all this work to bake the cake, bring the cake, give me the cake, and I just take the cake and walk away.
That would be a very strange interaction, yeah.
Right, because you expected a thank you.
Maybe.
And then I would have to say thank you to make you feel better because I knew you were expecting a thank you. And if you didn't get one, you're going to think it's weird.
So then how do you practically day to day go about your opinion on this? Like if we're not supposed to say thank you or please or...
That's a good question.
How's that work?
I'll tell you in a minute. That's a really good question. I'll tell you in a minute. Don't let me forget to respond to that, all right? Okay. It's a really good question.
Cool.
I saw here first and then there. Amazing. Y'all finally waking up a little bit.
Yeah, I heard an example this week. This guy was saying how he let another car go through and like let him pass, and the person didn't give him that hand wave to say thank you back. And he was really pissed about it. He was just like, well, where's my hand wave? He was, people don't, they're just evil.
That's what a good point. We've been taught to say thank you and to acknowledge and get back, and if we don't, we call it wrong. If the person let you in front of them and they don't wave their hand, fine. You let them. Why did you let them? Did you let them in to get a thank you? Did you let them in so they could stroke you by saying thank you or wave at you? It's all ego. It's to make you feel good.
Correct.
You did it with the expectation to be made to feel good, all ego. Amazing, huh? Let me take this young man, Jesse, your hand, and then the young lady. Yes?
Yeah, so I think maybe this kind of correlates back to that conversation about the shopping cart, is if you want to do it, if somebody opens the door for you, if you want to say thank you, you can. There's no obligation to say or not say thank you.
Right.
But then
and
also...
there shouldn't be an expectation either.
Exactly.
But
But also for like, I think the morality, the thing that first kind of came to my brain when you said that is, you know, like when the Israelites came out of Israel or Egypt, they wanted like all these rules and regulations, and God was like, just be a good, or just be yourself / follow the Holy Spirit. And they're like, no, we need rules. So then that's when the whole 10 Commandments had to come down and say, hey, here's what to do, but you should know, don't
And
steal.
they still broke the rule.
Exactly.
They broke the 10 Commandments.
So you don't need morality per se. You should know the right thing to do or if you really pursue it. But we as humans, we want those rules so that we can say, hey, we've checked off the boxes.
Amazing. Let me take here, and that's all you have. Okay. Yes.
To add to her point, I think it's more of a way to communicate in a sense. Like, I think deep down, a lot of people innately know that human beings are evil. So it's a way to like communicate that you're not a threat. You know? Like, it's not necessarily being nice or being wrong. It's just your way to communicate that you're not a threat. So I'm going to put my hand up when you let me across or
That way you don't
say
shoot
thank
me.
you. Yeah, you know? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Interesting. I hadn't thought of it that way, but good point.
Okay.
Because you let somebody in, and then if you don't wave, you're going to shoot them. Now you're ticked because they didn't acknowledge you let them in. Now you ride down the freeway trying to get away from them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to kill you. Because they're a tick.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
I think I understand what you're saying. Like yesterday, I was at Trader Joe's and there was this homeless man, and he was begging for money. And when I got out of Trader Joe's, I saw him, and he kept saying like, "Oh, like I really need money for A, B, and C." And I realized like I felt scared not to give him money because I felt like, oh, if I don't give him money, if I don't give him money, he's gonna think that I'm mean, and then I was judging myself, and I was slowly reaching into my bag to give him money. But I'm like, no, like I don't want to be ruled by my fear. Like if I really wanted to give him money, I would just not even think about it. I would just give him money.
Yeah.
But because I was just thinking about it so hard and I was like shaking, I just walked away and I didn't really think about it anymore. But I hope to one day be able to just do without thinking about
Right
it so
on.
hard.
Here's what I want you to do next time you see a homeless person. Totally ignore them.
Yeah.
You walk by them as though you didn't even see them. Because what they do is they get your attention. And once they got your attention, they know you're going to give up money. They know and so they work hard to get your attention. So walk by them, even if they say hi, ignore them. All right? See how hard that's going to be for you.
I feel like that's easy for me.
To
Like,
ignore
yeah,
them?
to ignore, yeah.
Yeah. Don't judge them, just ignore them.
Okay.
Amazing. I was talking to, I do a lot of counseling, right? And I was talking to a ex-husband of this woman, and the ex-husband was told me that they're going to have to pay child support, start paying child support. And I'm like, why? Or whatever I asked. And I noticed the first thing that the ex-husband went into was pity. Oh, well, she's not working. And I know she's not doing anything. It just ain't working. I'm like, so what? They're making up excuses. I want you to notice that in your mind, if you pay attention, your mind is always making up excuses and giving you reason, telling you this and telling you that, sad stories and happy stories and sad stories, and you're listening to the mind and thinking that you need to make a decision based on what you're thinking. You don't trust yet or believe yet that all your thoughts are lies. You still believe them. That's why your fears can control you. Your fears tell you where to sit, even in this room. Your fears tell you sit in the same seat, the same row, do what you. We are family, like the family do. Not that y'all should stop sitting together. Like we're a family, let's sit together. Those are thoughts. Why not sit freely about and get this chance to see how you feel, what you're thinking sitting to a stranger? You are afraid to sit to a stranger. You're afraid to even sit in a strange seat or a strange row that you haven't sat in all your life. You want to get somebody, you come in here late and somebody take that seat, you want to cuss them out. and then you want to sit around that chair somewhere. Your fear control you. But you don't call that fear. You think when I say fear, walking, as you use the example, walking across the street, you have minute-to-minute daily fears that you don't even notice. You're afraid that you won't look right when you get dressed and leave the house. You wonder how am I going to look and how are people going to see me. You're afraid, you have so many fears that you don't even know yet. You are being controlled by your fears. But and I'm not talking about just physical fear. You should be concerned about that, watch yourself. But you're being controlled every moment in your mind and you don't know it. Because you have a category as a good thing or a bad thing. You have a category of what's good or what's bad, and both are wrong. Both are wrong, and you're being dictated by that. You're being dictated by what society say. Society, our parents and the teacher and the preachers have taught us to say yes and thank you. They've taught everyone that, and then if somebody don't say thank you, you're ticked. I'm never going to give them anything anymore. They didn't even appreciate it. You're not saying thank you because you really want to say thank you. You've been taught. You've been taught. There is a right way to be nice, but not the way you think it is. If you want to be a nice person, you got to overcome all of your imagination, all of your thoughts. I read a book from the 1800s, and in there it says, the human beings are being controlled. No, it says human beings are enslaved by their morality. You're enslaved by your morality. You got to try hard to be what you've been taught, morality-wise, and if you don't, you feel like a failure, like something is wrong. And you judge other people who don't live by your enslaved morality. Oh, that person is immoral. Look at how they're acting. Isn't that amazing? You're enslaved and don't even know it. You're not free. You could be free, but you got to get free of the mind. Human being, did I see the hands? Okay. Before I get into this human being thing, I want to tell you about that. Yes.
Well, I guess this just kind of goes about what we're talking about, the politeness and like being kind, and what you were saying about the homeless man. So, I live in Texas, and it's obviously very different from California. And where I live, there are on a lot of these street corners, there are signs that say like, say no to street charity. And there's even like QR codes. That's like, if you see somebody out here panhandling, like scan it and just report the intersection, and we'll send somebody out here and tell them to move it along. But there's signs everywhere that are like, don't give people money if you see them here, like report them. And ultimately, I think it's better for our communities to not have these people standing out here. It keeps them cleaner, it keeps them safer.
Absolutely.
And so again, I think it ultimately comes down to like, it's not maybe the kind thing, but it's the better thing for our community and our society.
Absolutely. They have done the homeless people and America a disservice by catering to homeless people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's done especially to the homeless people. Homeless people are so nasty and selfish and don't care, and they feel like they're entitled now. And the mayor of LA, I was looking at her recently, and she's always talking about the unhoused, right?
Yeah.
She's building for the, and look at this fake grin she has on her face. This Karen is just as evil as they come. Mm-hmm. Because she's not doing anything good for the state, for the city, but she acts like she's doing something great for the unhoused.
Right, and in Texas too, like they really just don't allow like homeless people to congregate like
Good.
on empty properties and even on like underpasses and things. If they start noticing like homeless people congregating there, then they just build like a big fence all the way around it. So it's like we don't have to keep coming back and forth. It's like you just can't get in. And so they just find these ways to keep people out because it's like, yeah, we don't want them there, and yeah, it's just not really tolerated, and that's something I really appreciate about.
I noticed how they throw trash on people, businesses in the yard, and don't
Yeah.
care. They'll empty your whole trash can out and leave it there and walk away.
Not in Texas.
And come
but-
back every day and do it the same thing over and over again. Isn't that amazing?
Mhm.
They've been taught to be that way. The
Mhm.
law is on their side, not yours. So they've been spoiled, and they are getting worse and worse and worse.
Mhm.
It's horrible, really horrible. The people who are doing it are evil, and the homeless people who are doing it are evil,
Mhm.
accepting it as evil. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
Amazing. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of expand on like politeness and kind of being taught to be polite and how that comes from like the wrong place and
Yes.
like from like my personal like childhood. Whenever my aunts and uncles would send us birthday cards, we were expected to send thank you cards back to them. And then if I
Yes.
didn't send them a thank you card, they would get together and start being like, we didn't receive your thank you card yet. Bah, 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 bah.
Yes.
And it made me so resentful when I would get the thank you, or when I would get the birthday cards, because now I was like, I need to go out and buy thank you cards. I need to sit down and spend all this time writing it back to them. And it made me resentful because it was expected to do that nice thing, even though it is a pleasantry, and I was thankful for the card, but then the expectation of having to get something back, it's almost like they were doing it specifically to get something in return.
100%.
And I resented it. And when I stopped doing that, like I was kind of one of the first one of my cousins to stop writing thank you cards back to people. I was like, they hated it. They complained
Yes.
about it. They would bring it up at every family event that I was so rude and I was so like, I was just so not, I just didn't appreciate their gestures. And I saw that hypocrisy where I'm like, if I'm actually thankful, it should come from a genuine place. And that's the thing about the morality thing. If you're being taught that you have to be this way, you're only doing it from that expectation rather than operating from the correct spirit. And I think it's so funny when people say like, oh, well, if we didn't have morality, everything's going to go into chaos. But it wouldn't if everyone was like, operating from the right spirit. You would say thank you, you would open the door, but you wouldn't get anything from it because you wouldn't be identifying with that gesture as, oh, I'm a good person for holding it open, I'm a good person for saying thank you. You would just do it because whatever it is, if it's the right thing in that moment, you would do it, but you wouldn't even think anything of
Absolutely.
it. And that's like, I don't know, I just think that that's really
Perfect.
interesting.
If parents never taught their children to say thank you, they would eventually say it because they want to say it, and it would be perfect. They wouldn't, and they would say it without anything in return. They wouldn't need to feel good for saying it. They weren't worried about if you liked it or not, if they said it or not said it. But you have taught them enslaved morality. You gotta let your little morality go if you want to be free. You gotta let it go. And I'll get to that in a minute here. I'm looking at the clock, and now y'all all excited. Raise your hands, and I'm loving it. Don't forget that thought. Don't forget the thought. What do you think about that?
No, I think she's correct. I think she's right, and I see aspects of what she's saying within my British family. Like people would send cards over, even like my grandma would still send us cards, but I don't send a card back unless I want to, right? So I totally agree with what she's saying. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The world would turn on you if you didn't follow their morality. Just as you were saying, you're absolutely right about that. Because it's a false morality, it's not real. It's an ego thing, it's in here.
And then you like think that you're a good person because you're like, oh, I did the right thing, and then you're making that judgment on yourself. And it's like the
Right.
fact that you're doing it for that reason to make yourself feel good is the wrong reason to
You
do
feel
it
evil.
anyways.
Yeah.
And I have another like little point coming back to what do we notice about human nature? Was that the question? I forget what it was. Human nature being evil.
Yes.
And I realized like people people are so addicted to their thrills and their suffering, and they love complaining, and they love to impose their complaining on other people.
Yep.
And they want people to like make them feel good, kind of in the same vein as like the card thing with my family. I learned from a really young age, like I was a really good writer, and I was able to like tap into making people have like emotional reactions to my writing. And as a kid, I was able to like use that to control people's emotions. And like, so my mom expected for every Mother's Day and every Father's Day, because she was a single mother, she wanted some like written out, you know, how great of a mother she is, like how, you know, she's the best mom ever, to the point where my mom, I wrote it on Facebook. This is back in the day when you would like post that on Facebook, it'd be big, it'd get all the likes. My mom like printed this comment off of Facebook, printed it out, blew it up, and has it framed in her house to this day, because she wanted me to like idolize her and make her my God, essentially. And so when I stopped doing that, like I stopped saying like these long happy birthday messages, like I'm not going out of my way to do that. And people turned on me for me not making them feel a certain way. They're like, I didn't get your birthday message this year. And it's like, yeah, because I don't feel it. And like they only want it because it makes them feel a certain way. And it's so evil. It's so evil. And like when I pulled that back, watching them like they're like addicted to having people make them feel a certain way, and it's not coming from a genuine place.
A good example. Francisco, I saw your hand and then here, all right?
One thing I noticed about the thank you thing and all that crap, I remember being around some small children, little kids, and I would give them things, give them candy, and then they would just brighten up and smile. I was like, wow, that is really nice. And then the mother over on the side, say thank you, say thank you.
What are you gonna say?
And I have to teach them to say thank you. And the mother actually poisoned the whole thing. It's like,
Absolutely.
Man, this is really nice. That was like worth the whole situation. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So do you say thank you for a Christmas gift? Oh, thank you, this is a beautiful Christmas gift. Or thank you for Halloween candy. You don't. You just, the smile is thank you enough.
Amazing, absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, right here.
Oh, sorry.
Let me take here first.
I just have a quick question. So you
Yeah.
said it's weakness in a lot of ways to be polite.
Yes.
But is there strength in humanity?
Is there strength? No.
Yeah, that's the opposite.
No, nothing but weakness. It's a shame how weak we are as human beings. We're so pathetic, it's not even funny. You know what else is interesting to me? And then I'll take your question. The truth is hidden from us. That is so amazing to me. It's hidden and it's only given to those who want it. It's only given to those who invite it in, who want it. And the truth is not learning the Bible. That's not the truth. It's so strange how he only gives to those who truly want it, not even those who are faking it. And I'm like, wow, and we're so blind, we don't even know. We're so crazy, blind and crazy, and stupid, and dumb, insane, and weak, and pathetic, and fake, and not real, and sad. We are messed up and don't know it. But anyway, I'll come back to that. Yes. Is that clear now about to your question that you had earlier about what would happen? Okay. Right on. Yes.
Should we not exchange Christmas presents? I don't give Christmas presents because I just think it's ridiculous, but I love spending money on my friends. And
what's ridiculous about it?
I know because I get a bunch of shit that I don't need.
We in church?
I get a bunch of stuff that I don't need, and I don't want to be giving stuff to people that they don't need either. So I'd rather just hold the money and then take them out to dinner or something. Do
Why?
something. Because to me, it gives me more pleasure to be like in company with them only, not necessarily
Oh, I see.
exchanging.
So you take them out for you so you can get pleasure being in their company?
Exactly. No, yeah, exactly.
But that's worse than the gift then. Why don't you just give the gift? You still try to get something for you.
Well, that's true. Well, you know, it's funny because when I'm paying and they go, oh, no, let me pay, I'll immediately say, okay, well, if you want to take my pleasure, then you pay. And I'll just let them pay. Because I'm like, you just stole all my pleasure away from me by.
And you didn't like it?
Well, it's not that I didn't like it. I'm like, I don't feel like anybody should be obligated one way or another. So if I'm doing it out of like the generosity of my heart, I'm just doing it because.
But if you're taking them out to dinner for your pleasure, you're not doing it from your heart.
Am I not doing it from my heart? Because.
You know, you're doing it from your pleasure.
Well, but isn't that what everybody's doing?
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what we've been talking about all day.
Okay.
Okay. Where was I? Yes, hey. With the mic.
People are more at ease around somebody who's real than somebody who's nice, polite, compulsively agreeable and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can tell when you're around a person that's real. You don't have to put out extra energy. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to put up this fakeness, right? Because you're around a real person, which is rare. But around fake people, you have to be fake too. Isn't that amazing? Yes, ma'am.
I feel like, though, from my observation, I feel like when I'm myself and I'm real and I'm not all extra polite and I'm not generally really like that anyway, but like I feel like it's cost me friends. But then I think I learned that what you said before, that then they were never really your friends, and then maybe they were never meant to be your friend.
Right.
Because I feel like not doing the whole, and I feel like it's more of an American thing here.
It's a world thing.
Sure, but more so than in England, I feel like people.
Oh, no, they nasty in England.
No, I'm not saying.
I counsel with the England.
Yes, that's not what I'm saying. But upfront wise, people in America, from what I've seen, are more. I don't know what the word is. More expressive and polite, and you know.
Oh.
Whereas in England, you kind of get what you see, what you get, and they're nasty.
They are
just
nasty.
as they're here, but it's different, right? But I feel like in not doing all the polite extra stuff, I feel like in the past that's cost me friendships because I feel like there's certain expectations there. So like, how do you deal with that in relation to maintaining good friendships?
By having no opinion about it. Don't judge them in thought, in eyes, in words, in gestures, or in any emotion.
And if they want to drift or not be friends, then let them be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have no opinion about it.
Okay.
It's like the gift thing. If you're giving a gift, have no opinion about it. You're just giving a gift, and don't worry about if I should do it, or I'm gonna take them to dinner because this is that. Ideas and opinions hate God, and God hates ideas and opinions. You gotta let all your ideas and your opinions go. You gotta live without them, or you would never know God. Even the idea, thinking that you know God is just an idea, and you don't know Him, you don't know Christ, you don't know God. It's just an idea. Stop thinking about God, and then you wouldn't know Him. Start having an opinion or idea about God, then you would know Him. Human beings, there is nothing good in human beings, period. They are pure evil. Look at the sadness and the pain and the drama and the hurt and the killing and the robbing and the lying and the gossiping and the revenge that human beings bring up on one another. Look how quick human beings can turn on each other, just like that. They say they love you in one moment, but if they want something from you or disagree, family members, anyone, it doesn't matter. They snap on you just like that. They change. You get into a marriage, right? You're like, oh, lovey-dovey in the marriage, right? Because you both really lying to one another. How much I love you, how much you love me, how sweet you are. You're the man or you're the woman I want to be with you to this, right? And you're like, oh, I'm going to marry this one. And in the second you stop one of those things or stop saying it, they truly turn on you. And so love turned to hate, hate turned to love because they're both hate. They are not love. You don't love nobody and nobody love you. You don't love anyone. Just think about how bad human beings treat each other. I'm looking at how mothers, and sometimes fathers too, turn on their own children when they fight to be free. When they finally realize, you know what, I'm sorry for resenting you, bye, I'm a free person. That mother will build a pure army against that child, adult, and destroy them. Or they try to sugarcoat them and back into the control. We're about to have a party, come on over. You're missing JoJo's birthday. You're missing blah, 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 right? Anything to seduce you back in. And as you were saying, if you don't go back, you become an enemy to the whole family. You become, human beings don't even allow each other to disagree. If you disagree with your best friend, he or she will snap just like that. Because they have anger. Because anger is evil. And then, I don't know why we got into this thing that human beings were good. Because you hear it all the time. Everybody think they're good, and other people think they're good because they'll say, oh, that person did this for me. That's such a good person. That's just a thought. That's not true. You say right away that somebody is, let's say that somebody give you a cup of coffee after this meeting, right? You walk out there and they made a cup of coffee and they just hand it to you. The first thing you would say is, oh, that's a nice person. They gave me this coffee, they're so nice. That's just a thought, that's just an idea. You don't know if that person is nice or not, but you say they are nice. It's just an idea. And you make up ideas all the time about yourself and about others based on their actions. Based on their actions. I want you to stop it. Well, I don't want you to stop it. But stop deciding if somebody good or bad because of their action or something that they said. People are not nice. People are evil. There's nothing good in human beings. Nothing. Zero. When Christ said not to trust an angry person, that an angry person is a murderer, it's true. And the interesting thing about it, oh my God, I just had a flash. All angry people blame you for their anger. All angry people blame you for their anger. They're like, why are you mad? She made me feel that way. He made me feel that way. He said this to me. He did this. He did. I'm like, well, no, your anger is inside of you. It ain't out there. It's in you. Your fears are not out there. Your anger is not out there. It's in you. Dummy. But the world and Satan would tell you that it's out there. And it's not. Not one person have anything to do with your fears or your anger. It's in you. That's why you must be born again. Human nature is no good. No good. And I love the fact that once you see this for yourself, you're on your way. I'm telling you, it's going to be mind-blowing. And all these things will start to fall away. Human nature, God will take human nature away from you. Once you forgive by truly seeing that you're wrong for being angry. Anyone that has anger has hatred. It used to be called hatred in the good old days because that's what it is. And when you're hatred, you're playing God in every area of life. You're playing God. You're making a decision. You're playing God. You're deciding who is nice and who is not nice. You're playing God. You're deciding who is good or not bad and good. You're playing God. You're deciding what you want and what you don't want. You're playing God. You're playing God in every area, and Satan is your God, not the true God. Because ideas don't like God, and God does not get along with ideas. Drop your ideas and you can be free. Drop your morality, you can be free. And you're faking it with your morality. It's not even real. I can't tell you the number of times that when I counsel with people, the things that husbands and wives say about one another, when they're not in that room, that's why I like to have both together. You would think that this is your bitter enemy. They say things about one another that your enemy would not say. And they do it out of anger. They do it because they're lying. You can tell they're lying. You can tell they're making it up in their mind. And they want to make one or the other, both do it, does it or does it, however. But they both do it because their hearts are evil. They never come in and say, well, you know what? We are not getting along because I did this. I did that. I was wrong. And I couldn't say to my husband or my wife that I was wrong. I'm stunned at what husband and wife say about each other. Really, your enemy wouldn't say what they say. And you could tell they're made up because everything changed. You see the devil coming out of them. And you could tell that they're lying. And so I would say, like, are you being honest? Well, it was like that. Are you being honest? Well, no. Human beings are no good. Don't trust human beings. Human beings are no good. And human beings do not love one another. I don't care how much money you have or don't have. Human beings don't love one another. But when you die, and you must die, and that, what you mentioned today, is part of the death. Seeing how evil you are. Seeing how angry you are. You got to see it. Can no one change it but you? And you change it simply by seeing it. You got to see it. And once you see it, you got to quietly live with it. You just got to live with it until you die from it. Can't nobody save you from it. You got to, and God wants to save you from that old nature. Christ had to do it. You got to do it too. I remember when Christ said, the work that I do, you do it too. You will do it too. Remember that? Something like that. He's saying that we can be just like him. The same spirit that he has, we can have it too. And when you have that spirit, you're going to be right then. Because your nature is now the nature of God, which is love. Nothing but love. It never, no situation, no idea, no human being, no nothing can be. Because now you have a brand new nature. And you could be like Christ, and then you could do good. You got to be good in order to do good. You can't do good and call yourself good. You can't do good and think that you're good. You have to be right. You have to be good. And that's not going to happen until your heart changes from hate and your nature changes from the old nature of evil, that ego nature. And it will happen, but you got to ride with this. You got to see it all the way through. No matter, and a whole lot going to happen along this journey. A whole lot of stuff going to happen. People going to turn against you, like you were saying with the parents, the family members. People will turn against you. Your own wife or husband, your children, anyone that's not on this same path will turn against you. You just got to watch them fall to the wayside. Let them go. But the beauty is, you're going to see for the first time in your life, they never meant anything to you anyway, and you never meant anything to them. It was all fake. And you'll be like, wow. But you're going to be glad to see it. Let yourself feel lonely. Let yourself feel afraid. Let yourself feel doubt. Let yourself feel whatever. But see that you're feeling that way. And it's the light of God that will, he tried to destroy his own nature. You must die from this. You got to die in order to live. You got to die. And you got to die from all your fakeness. All your illusions. It's nothing but illusion. It's not even real. It's an illusion. And as far as working on your life, let me see what to be clear. Why do you pay attention to yourself? It's insane. You know why? Because there is no self to pay attention to. So stop paying attention to yourself. Ain't no self to pay attention to. As somebody said already, you got to see who you're not. You got to see you're not your thought and your feeling. There's no self to, there's nobody to pay attention to. So who are you paying attention to? You try to make yourself better? Ain't nobody to make better. How you going to make somebody better if they don't exist? There's no one there to make better. There's no one there to do anything about. That's another illusion. It's just an illusion. There's no one there. So stop working on, who are you working on? There's no one there to work on. Physically, maybe go to the gym, eat right, blah, 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 but that's just your physical body, and you're not your body. And you want to take care of your physical body so you can hopefully live on this earth a little longer. But there's no one there to work on it. So you can stop working right now. Because you're really not working on anyone. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. We got to die from the illusions. One last thing, and then I'm done. Human beings do not even want to believe that they're not a sinner. They don't want to believe Christ have wiped away all their sins. I asked some of the Christians, do you believe, which is easy for you to say? I'm a sinner, or I'm a sinner, or I'm saved, whatever. And they're like, well, I believe I'm saved, but I'm still a sinner. I'm like, you dummy. They don't want to be free. They don't want to believe that they're free because they've been told all their life that they're a sinner. And they think that the sinner is the 10 Commandments. What did you do? Well, I had sex with this married woman. That's not a sin. The sin is in the heart. It's playing God. You're only sinning when you play God. And when you believe thought, you're sinning. You're playing God. When you believe you can work on you, you're playing God. When you believe your fears and your jealousy and your envy and your strife and trying to hurt someone is you're playing God. There's no you to work on. That's why it's never worked, because you're working on an illusion. Human beings are evil. From family member on out, on earth. You can't trust them. They'll snap on you just like that because they have no love. We all must be born again of love, and we must stop and surrender and let the truth take over and do it for you. It's not going to happen any other way. You must surrender. You must surrender your ego. I beseech you, brother, with all the mercy of God, all that's in you, surrender yourself present your bodies a living sacrifice. You got to present all of your fears and all of your doubts and all your worries, all your needs, all your jealousy, all your strife. You got to stop trying to fix it. And then it'll be taken away. You need to present that to God, and He will take it away, because it's physical, it's spiritual. Any questions? Did that help a little bit? Yes. So let people do whatever they want to your ego. Let them attack you spiritually or the ego stuff. Let them attack you. Let whatever need to happen with the ego happen, and you just watch it. Let them call you whatever they want to call you. Let them not want to play with you. Let them gossip about you. Let them not want to be married to you. Somebody don't want to be married to you anymore? Okay, bye. I don't want to be married to you either. Goodbye. You don't have to be married to me. Fine, bye. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to call you. You don't have to say all that. Just don't do it. Right. Somebody say, I want out of a marriage or they cheated in a marriage, they say, okay, I'm glad to know, I wish you well. And don't be all heartbroken. That's evil too. What heart are you breaking over a human being not wanting to be with you? They're not wrong for not wanting to be with you. They don't want to be with you. So don't judge them as right or wrong. Just know they don't want to be with you. And don't be saying, oh, well, what's wrong with me? It must be something. No, it's not. That person have decided that they don't want to be with you. And they have a right not to be with you. And you don't have a right to try to stop it. They walking out of the door, you all pulling on, holding on, crying. And they drag you all to the door. Please don't go, baby, please. Like Miss Scarlett O'Hara. It's gone with the wind. Stop it. Let people live exactly the way they want to live. And you don't judge them. Let them have no opinion about the way somebody else want to live. You want to live that way? Well, okay. No matter what it is, you don't have a right to have an opinion about anyone else's life. God doesn't do it. Why should you? He let them live the way they want to live. However, you want to commit abortion every day? Go out there and kill your babies every day. Find some men to get pregnant with every other month and kill the baby. You think God's going to, oh my God. But you're judging people, oh, abortion, they killing their baby. Let them kill the baby. But I feel so bad. That's all ego. You don't feel nothing. You just feel good thinking that you feel good or feel bad about it. You're lying. It's all about you. It ain't about the baby in the womb. You don't feel nothing for that baby. Zero. All those feelings you have is in you, not in anything else. It's time to live. You can have life right now. And don't bring the world with you. They're not going to go. If somebody else don't want to do it, wish them well. Yes.
So just to clarify, there's a practical side to manners then?
Yes.
Okay. That's it.
Well, repeat that, I'm sorry.
I don't want to get fired. You know what I'm saying? You have to use manners in some settings, right? There's a practicality to it.
Like if you're at work.
I'm not trying to be fake. I'm just trying to navigate my job. I
Let's
can't
say
be
you're
like
at work.
stare at people when they hand me stuff. It won't take long. You know what I mean? Like, there's
No.
got to be a little practicality to it, right?
Right. If you're at work and you're working with people, but I even hate to say this, but if you're working on yourself, you're going to naturally do the right thing toward others
Right.
without even thinking about it.
In the meantime, though, I don't want to get fired while I'm working on myself.
Meaning what?
No, I'm kind of joking, but like it sounded like I think she said that like there's a little bit of a guardrail for it. Like you're out in public, you don't know where people are at, so you're just trying to fly under the radar and not.
No.
Didn't you say something like that about traffic? Just give them a wave just to go on with your life. Well, anyways,
No, you don't wave unless you want to wave, and go on with your life if you don't wave. And if that person get upset in the other car because you didn't wave, that's on them.
Okay, fair enough.
And you're waving because you try to be nice too, trying to show the driver, oh, I'm so nice, I appreciate you letting me in.
But just practical, everyday navigation, even though deep down you know it and they know it and it's just a game, it's still something we seem to have to play.
Oh, stop playing the game with the world. It's what the young lady asked earlier. Well, if I don't have all these, if we don't have all these standards, learn to do anything, what would it be like? When you work on you, you're going to naturally do right and be right at all times.
Okay, I get that.
You're going to naturally do it, and it's going to be real. And then as Haight said, somebody's going to see that you're natural and you're real, and that light in you is going to cause them to want to know how. It's something different about you. You're not going to be rude or nice. You're just going to be you. Really. That makes sense? Perfect. Oh, okay. You had something you wanted to say really fast. I was supposed to get back to you. Remember? Oh, you forgot it. Okay. Any questions about this? Yes, sir.
Just thought, so can you be aware and see it but not work on it? Or do you just have to observe?
I promise you this. Amazing question. When you see it, there's no work to do. Because you realize there's nothing I can do or need to do.
Okay.
When you see it, you surrender.
I feel like I've temporarily have done it, where
What's
I've
that?
been like in the middle of like judging or sin, and then just like that, stop it, put it away and down.
Repeat that again. I'm not understanding.
I feel like I've temporarily have been.
Oh,
there.
you have done that.
Temporarily. Yeah.
No, when you see it, do nothing about it. Matter of fact, when you see it, you don't even want to do anything because you see there's nothing. When the young lady said, well, I saw how suffers are, whatever she said, seeing it is all she needs to do. The problem is most people don't want to see it. They will intellectually get into it, they will quote it, they will repeat it, they even act like it. Oh, I'm so humble. It's all an idea, it's all an act. When you see it, all ideas disappear, the act disappear, the desire to do anything about it disappear, because now you see that God has control of it. Without even thinking, I see God has it. But you seeing it, there's nothing to do, you gotta see it. You gotta sit at the gate and wait for the king.
Yes.
So that's why I say live in your fear, stay with it, eat with it, sleep with it, drive with it, have lunch with it. Even when you're around a bunch of other people and you're feeling your fear, just live with it. Go hang out, enjoy lunch, but keep it to yourself about the fear. Don't reach out. Don't reach out for no help at all. To anyone. Don't make anyone, oh, I'm so afraid. And someone not going to make you feel good. Oh, don't be afraid. You don't want that. Yes. And then this young lady, we're ending it.
What is the purpose of life if it's just...
To overcome your hell.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's not to like be with God or...
To overcome your hell.
Okay.
Really. The purpose of life is to overcome your hell. And you better be glad you're doing it while you're living before you drop your body. You don't want to drop that body in your hell. Ain't no way out. You give it a chance now. Amazing. Any question about any of this?
No, I'm just listening. I always just re-listen later on and work on it through the week.
And I want you so young. I think of you a lot.
Thank
and,
you.
And the fact that you're hearing this, you're so fortunate. But just watch it, all right? And you just live your life. You go out with your little friends if you want, whatever you do. Don't preach to them. Yeah. And if they're drinking hot chocolate, don't be like, ugh. I don't like hot chocolate. You're drinking that hot chocolate. A lot of people do that when you eat or drink. You know, if you're out with somebody and they eat a certain kind of food or drink a certain thing, but you eat what you eat, the first thing you're going to say, oh, I didn't know you ate that. Oh, that's nasty. Have no opinion about other people's food. So when you're out with your little friends, you see they get what they get, you just let them have it. You get your meal, enjoy your meal, and just be you. You're going to have an amazing life.
Yes, I agree. My cafe mocha.
Right on. Have your cafe mocha and let them have their almond joy. Have no opinion about anyone. When you drop your anger, then I'm going to encourage you to stay with it, all right?
Yes.
You're fortunate that you've been raised by your father now, so you know what it is to have a father. You have a decent stepmother, you know what that is for you now.
Yes.
So just watch. Stay with the prayer and watch.
Yes.
All right?
Thank you.
Okay. I want to encourage you to stop thinking. Have no thought about God, about the Bible, about other people, about yourself or anyone. Drop all thoughts because they're just thoughts and they're evil and they're wrong. God does not judge us, period. I want you to think about that. God doesn't care if you cut your body part off, you cut your head off, you cut your whatever, you kill babies, whatever. God is not judging you for that, period. The only thing God judges is the heart. Before you enter into the kingdom of heaven, you must forgive, because anger cannot enter into the kingdom, right? Because it's evil, has no relationship. So drop all your opinion and start watching yourself this week. And then write this down, somebody. I want you to watch yourself, how you judge everybody and everything, and catch yourself doing it. And when you start doing it, let it pass. But catch it. Start catching yourself. The first thing you want to do is have an opinion about it. When you walk on the street, you see a nasty homeless person out there. You're going to be like, oh, look at that nasty homeless person. Right away. Catch yourself and let it pass. Start catching yourself having opinions, having ideas. Do that for a week and let me know how that goes next time I see you. That makes sense? Is that clear? Yeah. It's like what you were saying. You got an opinion about everything. Everybody. Catch yourself doing that, let it pass. Just catch it. Do nothing about it but catch. Drop all opinion, you'll be free. Drop all your ideas, you'll be free. But you gotta let ideas go, it's all in your head. It's crazy, it's evil. Bring every thought into captivity. Thank you all for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. I encourage you to practice being present. That should be your primary job. Seek first the kingdom of God in the right way. Means to practice being present and staying out of your thoughts. All right, watch that. Do the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer, and do that. I recommend you do it. It's up to you. You don't have to. It's up to you. But do it and stay present. All right? What else? Women Forum this Thursday night. It's the third Thursday of the month. Ladies Forums at 7 p.m. Don't forget the tithe and offering and the end of the year donation with the tax write-off thing, so you can do that. Check out our merch. We have amazing merch. We have a new shirt we just put up today. Stay with it. Am I right about that? Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. I think that's what it is, right? Yeah. Yeah. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. All right? Work on you and forget about the world. You don't owe the world any explanation about anything. You owe them no apology. You work on you. And the reason God is not judging you, because God knows it's not you. You just don't know it's you. You think all this mess you're doing is you, and your idea is not. So God is not judging you because you are not doing anything wrong. And there's no one there to work on. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye. Thank you all. Amazing.